all must get ourselves much healthier. This is what Wes Streeting, the Health Secretary, says. Huge cost to the NHS, we are told, from basically, everybody being obese, except everybody isn't obese. More people are overweight and more people are obese. And that does bring health problems. A lot of those end up being dealt with by the NHS and paid for by everybody's taxes. But is the answer, well, to tell us all what we should or should not eat, because supermarkets are going to be ordered to cut up to 100 calories from the average shopping basket under new Nanny state drive to tackle obesity. Ministers, we're told, are set to impose a healthy food standard that will force your local supermarket to curtail sales of sugary snacks and salty snacks in favour of us eating more fruit and vegetables. So they can do special offers, they can move things around in the store, but basically they're going to have to submit how much of basically certain sort of more unhealthy food and more healthy food that they have sold, and show that they've done their bit to cut us down to size. Is it the job of my local Waitrose or local Tesco to tell me what I should or should not eat and put in my basket? Let's talk about this with Chris Snowdon. He's the head of lifestyle economics at the Institute for Economic Affairs. Very good morning to you, Chris.
Morning, Julia.
I have to say, this stuff just gets madder and madder every single time. You've been writing and talking about these issues for a long time, and this stuff, by the way, it's not Labour. This stuff has been going on well through the last few Tory governments as well. How does what a supermarket does affect what I choose to put into my trolley or my basket when I'm in the supermarket?
That's a very good question. This is an extension, really, of an idea that's very popular amongst public health academics and left-wingers in general, which is that people don't really have any agency, and what we consume is dictated to us by companies. They hugely overestimate the power of businesses to make us do things, the power of advertising, the power of promotions. Obviously, these things do have an effect on the margin, but for fruit and veg is already very heavily promoted in the sense that most supermarkets have it as soon as you go in. They want you to see.
And it's very cheap.
And it's incredibly cheap. I think I got some carrots, 2 kilos of carrots for 15p the other day. They pretty much give it away. It's hard to see where the profit margin is on a lot of the fruit and veg, but frankly, you'd have to pay me to buy some vegetables, and even then I just take them home and throw them away. So the issue here isn't price or promotion. People go on about buy one, get one free. Actually, there's not that many offers like buy one, get one free. The supermarket model these days generally is consistently low prices across the board.
Well, exactly. I have to say the buy one, get one free is in my local supermarket. They always seem to be for tangerines. I don't need 24 tangerines. No one needs 24 tangerines. I've actually stood there and gone, isn't it the free offer? I've said to someone behind me, would you like my second set of tangerines? Because there's no way in the world my family of 3 is going to get through this many before they're going off. But this is the thing. It's this idea that where things are on the shelves is going to dictate what we buy. I shop like a ninja. I'm not going to lie. I've got my list. I race through a store. I will buy what I'm going to buy. And whether I choose to buy a chocolate cake or not buy a chocolate cake is entirely down to me. Now, I'll be told by the advertisers, oh, you think it is. You think it's down to you, but actually you're getting all these subliminal messages. And that's what's forcing you to buy the unhealthy food. So if supermarkets place it somewhere differently, they don't sort of try and promote those sorts of foods, you'll buy less of it. Is there any evidence that that is true?
End of our promotions do work to some extent. They will remind you, oh, batteries, I need some batteries. I get them or whatever, right? Shoelaces and things like this. Sometimes a new product will be launched, and that's a good place to let people know about it. But it's really difficult to launch new food products because, like you say, most people just go in the supermarket, they buy the same stuff they've always bought, give or take. So the supermarkets are being set up to fail with this. They're being told to somehow take 100 calories out of the average shopping basket, and they don't have the power to do it. The end of our promotions have already been banned for so-called junk food, as it has at the entrance and the exit of supermarkets. So that's already been dealt with, and I doubt that's made any difference either. The supermarkets will go along with this because they kick the can down the road, but the long-term effect will be, after however long, 3 or 4 years, they evaluate this. We say this is not good enough. We need to go harder. And the next health secretary will say we need to have regulation now.
Of course they will. But also any figures that we get will always be based on this is, yes, people have got fatter, even though we've had this promotion. But look how much fatter they would have got if we hadn't had this promotion, because that's what they always do, don't they? These sort of completely made up figures, they think. But this has been the issue with the minimum pricing for alcohol in Scotland as well, isn't it? We're often told, well, yeah, people have bought more booze, But they would have bought a lot more if we didn't have minimum pricing for alcohol. I mean, they could just claim anything they want.
They can, yeah, assuming that they want to show that the policy has worked. But I think with this particular policy, public health academics want to show that it hasn't worked, because that would then justify taxes and regulation. You've got to remember, at the moment, Wes Streeting on Twitter is promoting this idea as being really liberal. He said, we're not doing any meddling. We're not having Nanny. This is just a nudge. It's not, but it's less coercive than what a lot of campaigners.
But here's the thing: this is all based on this premise, and it's the same with the alcohol, and it's the same with food, and fizzy drinks, high cal food, and the like, takeaways. So there's this idea that if you can, it's a theory, isn't it? If you can cut the average consumption of the average person, that in some way is going to mean that the people who are alcoholics or the people who are obese will also be included in that, and everybody will just eat a bit less or drink a bit less, and that will therefore help the obese. But why don't they just tackle the obese? I mean, one suggestion I've always heard is that, the biscuit aisle, the crisp aisle, you have a turnstile, and if you can't fit through that turnstile, you don't get to buy that stuff. That would work better, wouldn't it?
It probably actually would, yeah. But I mean,
if you want something that might work.
The idea that everybody should consume a certain amount less is absolutely at the root of this, and they've done some modelling saying however many, I can't remember, 350,000 people will stop being obese if they consume 50 fewer calories and so on. There is actually an interesting point to this, which I did some research on a couple of years ago. If you actually did this successfully, if you actually managed to get everybody to consume a set number of calories fewer, which is how it's supposed to work with reformulation in the supermarket plan, you would actually end up with quite a significant rise in the number of children in particular who will be undernourished.
Yeah.
And that's actually more of a serious health issue for children than being overweight or obese.
Absolutely. But also, I mean, this cutting up to 100 calories from the average shopping basket. I mean, 100 calories isn't even a slice of toast before you've put butter or marge on it. That's how little that is.
Yeah, but the
like
silly computer models will say, yeah, it doesn't seem very much, and that's the point. All we need to do is just nudge people a little bit this way. But it doesn't work. People who are obese are eating way more than 100 calories too many a day, and they're probably the least likely to be affected by policies like this. It's the same old story.
They will make the effort to walk down the aisle to get the cake.
Yes.
As indeed will I. Once this comes in, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to deliberately consume more calories. Sodom. Chris Snowdon, Head of Lifestyle Economics at the Institute of Economic Affairs. Thank you so much. Sam Armstrong.
Wes Streeting seems to be doing a couple of things to show he's very left-wing at the moment, criticising Israel, doing this. It's almost as if he senses there might soon be a vacancy for
But the polling shows
he's
he's a popular figure among non-Labour Party members.
Yeah.
But among Labour Party members, you've got to, as Keir Starmer knew, pretend to be very lefty.
And voila.
Because guess what? Labour Party members will always vote for the socialist. Yeah, I know. But again, if he's going to do stuff like this, then, well, there we are.